explain in relatively simple words what's going on, why it's relevant, what are the advantages, what are the challenges, and to help the debate evolve. What are the challenges relating to work, to the structure of companies, to minimum wage? This is some of the debates we are having here. Also for the environment, what is the impact? We have these new tools, this connectivity among us. So what we share is this need or this feeling of, okay, let's get together and do what we think is best for society. And for me, it's good that there's this diversity. Not everybody has to agree on the best approach. So for me, it's good. But I think what we share is that we have this easy way to gather together now, thanks to internet, and organize communities like OuiShare and other communities to move forward and to take action in the direction that we think is best.
How could we bring the idea?
In the case, for example, that I know the best is collaborative consumption. A way to make it relevant for the politicians is to make it grow fast. When you create a situation where a lot of people are using a service that is not recognized properly by the policies of the government, then the government and the regulators will need to react. If you are so small that you are under the radar, they will probably have other bigger issues to deal with. So you actually need to grow to a certain size and relevance in the economy or in the society in general in order to be meaningful for them, and then they will approach. And then I would say, in terms of executing the policy, of defining policies, I think transparency is key. So instead of, in Spain we have very bad practices of discussing about laws and regulations in closed rooms, behind the curtains, so never in public. And one of the things that with OuiShare we are doing locally is try to encourage public debate on that space, so anybody can see what's being discussed, what information was shared, and how and why the regulators took one or other decision. Probably all of them are looking for a more the empowerment of the citizens, but in different aspects. I would say gatherings like this one in OuiShare Fest, where there is a lot of diversity of points of view on the stage, on the people you meet on the corridors, or here in the garden, is the best way, because then you create these social bondings. And I think I would say that somehow foster this mentality of, I have my position, you have your position. Let's exchange points of view. We are going to be richer because we are sharing these ideas. So not going in a way that is creating conflict or confrontational. Probably not everybody is ready for that, because a lot of people define their own position in antagony to another position, and in this case, probably the collaboration is very difficult. But I think it will help the whole movements to be more relevant and to be stronger in front of governments or regulators and so on. All this changing behavior from the people, it usually comes out from convenience. So we need to reach a point where these services that might be more empowering for the population, better for the environment, and so on, need to be as simple and as cheap or as available than the alternatives that might be mainstream today. So I think it's very pragmatic and not very idealistic. I think to change ideologies, it's very hard if you go like in a frontal mode. Sometimes you need to do a side step and offer a service that has this vision, has this let's say this mentality, but it doesn't sell that directly. It will sell convenience, either by price, by time. Somehow, dealing with the Trojan horse here, we are talking very often about economics gains, performance, growth, all these kind of things. And it's a way to convey this message in a way that it will be well received, and then we can move forward and seed the change like that. So for me, it needs to be step by step. If you go frontal, it's complicated. Whoa, that's a complicated one. Create an appendix on the Ten Commandments and then everything is fixed. No, really complicated to know which laws. So we have a lot of protection of the consumer. We have rules for companies. We have rules for all these entities. But we, as a citizen producer, we have never been recognized because it was never that simple to be a producer in society. So I think if we recognize this role and we protect it with some regulation, and the other thing is to understand that this is moving so fast that you cannot stick with a certain regulation. It has to be a continuous improvement. So it's not I'm looking for this result, I'm looking for a certain outcome. And then when I have this outcome, I will reevaluate and reiterate and maybe regulate again because I will learn something in the process. If you regulated 4 years ago, it would not fit the situation today. If you regulate today, it will not fit the situation in 4 years. So I think it's a matter of putting the citizen in the center as a producer on one side, and on the other one to be like iterative on the regulation.